In the headlines for this hour on VTV News, Vietnam enhances anti-corruption measures in structural reforms. And nationwide forces intensify training for parade marking 50 years of national reunification. Later on in our news, U.S. might exempt some nations from reciprocal tariffs.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. Stricter preventive measures in streamlining the organizational apparatus must effectively combat corruption, waste, and negative practices. Party General Secretary Tô Lâm, head of the Central Steering Committee on Preventing and Combating Corruption, Waste and Negativity, emphasized this as a key directive during the Standing Committee's meeting on Tuesday.
At the meeting, committee members reviewed progress since the 27th session, addressing project delays, asset valuation issues, and gaps in anti-corruption policies. Since then, over 1,100 corruption cases have been prosecuted, 381 party organizations and 819 members have been disciplined, and 1,315 trouble-hit projects have been reviewed. More than 235 million USD was recovered, bringing the total to 4 billion USD. Party General Secretary Tô Lâm praised these efforts but urged stronger action on inefficiencies, especially in long-delayed projects, emphasizing anti-corruption measures alongside structural reforms.
We should eliminate loopholes in streamlining, inefficiencies are unacceptable, strengthen oversight, prevent lobbying, and ensure smooth operations. The party committee must review and manage public assets to prevent waste and complete the restructuring this year. Streamline institutions must be done so proactively, removing obstacles without waiting for the 14th Congress. A leaner structure should enhance autonomy and efficiency.
Party General Secretary Tô Lâm emphasized strict inspections and thorough investigations during party congresses to prevent wrongdoers from entering the next term's leadership.
5 or 6 cases were omitted from planning, with more likely undiscovered. Post-election handling must be thorough and just. Carefully review party committee personnel and promptly inspect organizations and members for violations to prevent wrongful appointments.
Party General Secretary Tô Lâm emphasized accountability in valuation, asset recovery, and case resolution, while urging waste prevention and backlog reduction. He called for well-defined project responsibilities, inspection conclusions by March 31st, project handling completion by June 30th, and the opening of the Ha Nam hospitals by December 34th this year. Efforts should focus on accelerating renewable energy, flood prevention, and audits in key areas.
Party General Secretary Tô Lâm has authored an article highlighting the pivotal role of the youth in driving Vietnam into a new era of growth and prosperity. In an article entitled Future for the Rise of Generations, General Secretary Tô Lâm highlights the youth's vital role in national development. He also affirmed that the party and state will prioritize comprehensive investment in education, training, sports, culture, and population policies to nurture the rising generation toward Vietnam 2045 vision. He urges young people to study, train, and embrace global opportunities while preserving Vietnamese cultural identities and contributing to national progress and defense. On March 25th, Prime Minister Phie chaired a meeting of the Government Standing Committee and the Standing Board of the Government Party Committee to provide feedback on the draft of 2 important proposals to be submitted to the Politburo: the National Target Program on Education and Training Development and the National Target Program on Healthcare, Population and Development for the 2026-2035 period. The Prime Minister emphasized improving teaching and learning quality, building boarding schools for students in disadvantaged areas, promoting foreign language training, and linking education with research. He stressed universal health care, strengthening preventive medicine, and deploying 1,000 doctors to local healthcare facilities this year. Additionally, he called for accelerating the digitization of healthcare and education data to ensure equal access, leaving no one behind. The National Assembly Standing Committee convened on Tuesday, 7th meeting of full-time deputies in Hanoi. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn attended and provided guidance on ensuring the quality of legislative proposals.
National Assembly Chair Trần Thanh Mẫn said that the session will review 10 draft laws affecting business and daily life. He urged deputies to analyze key issues, ensuring legal consistency. The lawmaking process must be streamlined, with submitting agencies accountable until approval. The 9th session is set to pass 11 laws, review 16 others, and amend the Constitution and related laws.
This is essential for restructuring administrative units at all levels in line with the directives of the Party Central Committee, the Politburo, and the Secretariat under Resolution 18.
Regarding the draft law on teachers, deputies proposed reviewing the regulation allowing preschool teachers to retire up to 5 years early if they have contributed to social insurance for 20 years.
This issue should be reconsidered, as the 2024 insurance law, effective July 1, 2025, sets the retirement requirement at 15 years of contributions, while this regulation requires 20 years. During meetings with voters, no one wanted to extend their working years.
On the draft law on employment amended, deputies proposed adding digital skills and high-tech workforce development provisions. They emphasized recognizing new digital economy jobs to avoid a restrictive approach.
We should include the principle of respecting talents in Article 4 as a foundation for attracting and rewarding high-tech experts and encouraging businesses to hire skilled professionals.
Regarding the draft law on digital technology industry, some proposed special policies to attract and honor tech talent, aligned with Resolution 57. NA deputies also discussed amendments to the laws on chemicals and technical standards.
Politburo member, Secretary of the Party Central Committee and Head of the Central Committee Publicity and Education Commissions, Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa, hosted a reception for a delegation from the People's Daily of China led by its Editor-in-Chief Chen Jiawen on Tuesday afternoon in Hanoi. As the two countries celebrate the 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations, Politburo member Nguyễn Trọng Nghĩa proposed strengthening cooperation to ensure that each agency serve as a pioneer and an information bridge, contributing to mutual understanding and enhanced collaboration between the two parties and two countries and their people. During his official visit to Europe, Permanent Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Hòa Bình met with the European Central Bank ECB on Monday to discuss the establishment of an international financial center in Vietnam. At the meeting, Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Hòa Bình noted that a legal framework aimed at open, internationally aligned policies is in the works to attract investors to Vietnam financial market. The Deputy Prime Minister expressed hope that the ECB, with its extensive experience, will provide support in formulating management policies, attracting investment, managing risks, and combating money laundering. The ECB president commended Vietnam's strategic development of its financial market and highlighted the country's decisions to allow investors to freely transfer capital through capital accounts as a sign of a stable economic foundation. The ECB president affirmed that the ECB is prepared to share its expertise and support Vietnam in advancing its financial market development. The private sector drives the country's economy, contributing over half of its GDP and generating more than 40 million jobs, representing over 80% of the workforce. However, limited access to bank loans remains a major challenge. More to follow.
Vietnam aims to become one of Southeast Asia's top 3 countries in digital technology research and development by 2030. enhancing its competitiveness and global ranking. For businesses investing in technology and innovation, access to capital is crucial.
A traditional business typically takes 10 to 20 years to scale up to a medium or large enterprise. But a company leveraging digital technology can achieve the scale in just 3 to 5 years. The fastest way is by directing capital from the commercial banking system into science, technology, and digital transformation, especially for startups.
Small and medium enterprises face much greater difficulties accessing bank loans compared to large corporations. SMEs must improve their financial structures. By focusing on technology, they not only enhance their efficiency but also increase their chances of securing funding both in terms of eligibility and lower borrowing costs.
The State Bank of Vietnam acknowledges that technology is now a decisive competitive factor. However, funding for science, technology, and innovation cannot rely solely on banks.
There must be multiple sources of funding, including state budgets, investment funds, and startup incubators. Each funding source must align with the specific needs of innovation-driven enterprises. We know that commercial banks must see technology investment as a strategic priority. Those who are in this field will gain huge competitive advantages.
The central bank will propose new policies to the government to establish a comprehensive investment framework for innovation. This initiative aims to help small and medium enterprises access diverse capital sources.
Coming up next on VTV News. Nationwide forces intensify training for parade marking 50 years of national reunification. And Vietnam sees strong growth in luxury tourism. The proposal to increase the family allowance level is drawing public interest, with the cost of living rising steadily. Even young families with modest incomes are liable for personal income tax, adding to their financial burden. As a result, there is growing pressure for an adjustment to better reflect economic realities.
This couple has 2 young children and a combined monthly income of over $1,200 USD, yet they barely have any savings. While the family allowance for their children is $350 USD monthly, their actual expenses, including education, food, books, school supplies, clothing, and healthcare.
With a taxable income of $440 US, the tax burden remains high even after applying the family deduction. I urge the authorities to consider adjusting the tax brackets to improve our standard of living.
Rent alone costs around $200 to $280 US, only enough for a small apartment. Other expenses in the city are significantly high.
Under current regulations, the family threshold level can only be adjusted when the Consumer Price Index, CPI, fluctuates by 20%. However, reaching this level can take many years while living costs rise annually, leaving millions of wage earners disadvantaged. Many have suggested that the government review the family deduction level annually or every 2 years rather than wait for a 20% CPI fluctuation.
We should delegate authority to the government and establish regulations allowing it to adjust the family threshold level annually based on socioeconomic conditions.
The law allows the government to adjust the family deduction level based on salary changes and CPI fluctuations without requiring parliamentary approval.
While the Consumer Price Index, CPI, increases annually, wages for many have stagnated or even decreased. Many are now calling for a timely adjustment to the family tax level, hoping for financial relief in the face of growing expenses.
Vietnam's steady economic growth in the first quarter of 2025 has enabled ample employment opportunities, particularly in technology, manufacturing, and finance. Manpower Group's latest survey of 10,000 employers in 7 countries and territories indicates that employment demand in the second quarter of the year climbed by 30% year-on-year. During the same period, labor demands rose by 38% among industrial and material sectors, with a significant surge in manufacturing, followed by finance, real estate, consumer goods, and technology. Forces across the country continue their joint training in preparation for the 50th anniversary of the liberations of the South and national reunification. Training has occurred simultaneously in Hanoi, Quảng Nam, Bình Dương, and Ho Chi Minh City, involving more than 5,200 officers and soldiers. For the past 3 months, they have been undergoing intense drills, perfecting every movement in anticipation of this historic event.
Precision in movement, unity in formation. Every step and gesture is perfectly synchronized. This is the 8th joint training session for the forces preparing to participate in the Grand Military Parade marking the 50th anniversary of the Southern Liberation and National Reunification Day. One of the most demanding drills is for the Standing at Attention group, which has received special recognition from the Ministry of National Defense for its discipline. These soldiers endure 3 to 4 hours of absolute stillness.
The weather was challenging, and we felt exhausted at times. However, with our spirit and determination, we completed the mission.
Carrying heavy transceivers, these female soldiers train with 1 kilogram weights on each leg, standing firm for 2 hours daily. Their routine for the past 3 months is continuous training with no days off, and each morning beginning at 5 a.m.
It is a great source of pride that your actions embody the spirit of the Vietnam People's Army. We will carry this spirit of determination and strength into every mission we undertake.
The units are set to undergo at least 1 to 2 more joint training sessions before heading to Ho Chi Minh City for intensive training and full-scale rehearsals.
An exhibition showcasing paintings by King Ham Nghi created during his years in exile opened at Kiến Trung Palace in the central city of Huế on Tuesday. The exhibition showcases 21 pieces gathered from 10 private collections under the theme Sky, Mountains, Water, Elusive Panorama. Under the pseudonym Tử Xuân, or Son of Spring, the king's painting expressed his homesickness and aspiration to transcend time through art. Exhibition goers can explore the exiled emperor's artistic legacies and engage in a dialogue between the past and present. The exhibition will remain open until April 6th. Thousands of people wearing vibrant traditional costumes gather at a special event during the Call Me by Fire music festival. The event clearly demonstrated that young people remain deeply connected to traditional culture and are actively seeking ways to honor and share their national heritage.
At this event, thousands of participants donned traditional Vietnamese costumes representing various ethnic groups and historical periods.
I am wearing the red Dao costume.
I am wearing the Hmong costume. I feel very proud when I wear this costume.
This is my first time seeing so many Vietnamese people wearing Vietnamese costumes in one place like this. I feel very moved because I see the great patriotism of Vietnamese people.
Many international tourists expressed their excitement about experiencing this cultural event.
It's really interesting, yeah. You can see like so many different types of traditional clothing. It's really cool, really beautiful.
This is amazing. I just wanted to come and take photographs of the Vietnamese culture. It's so colorful. People keep their tradition, respect the culture. Very, very impressive.
According to cultural experts, young people's response to this event represents more than just a trend. It demonstrates their genuine desire to explore and understand Vietnamese traditional costumes throughout history.
The costumes today show significant investment and care. Witnessing thousands of young people participating demonstrates that youth have not turned their backs on traditional culture. They are proud and want to express their identity through traditional Vietnamese costumes.
ethnic cultural elements are increasingly being incorporated into youth-oriented events. This trend is expected to continue, providing young people with more opportunities to express their love for their national heritage.
Vietnam welcomed a surge in international arrivals during the first 3 months of the year, with notable growth in luxury tourism. Vietnam has become a favored destination for billionaires and influential figures in the tourism industries, including prominent names like Bill Gates. This trend underscores Vietnam's capacity to provide premium services while opening new opportunities to elevate the country's tourism brand.
Two American millionaires recently embarked on a custom private tour around Hat Long Bay.
The natural beauty, and to learn about the Vietnamese history and culture, and to see all of the new things that are happening in your beautiful country.
Quảng Ninh is expected to welcome 4 to 6 groups of billionaires this year, including over 100 from Germany, the largest to date. To cater to this growing demand, the province has developed a comprehensive service network tailored for ultra-luxury travelers. Special Hat Long Bay tours have already been booked through June, with some reservations extending into 2027.
We are focusing on promotional strategies, including partnership with global and local travel agencies, brand promotion, and advertising campaigns on digital platforms.
Bill Gates' visit to Da Nang in March last year made the city one of the most searched destinations for American travelers. Meanwhile, the exclusive Sundong Cave tours in Quảng Bình are fully booked through the end of the year. In the first months of 2025, nearly 100,000 international visitors arrive in Vietnam on luxury cruise ships. Golf tourism, conference tourism, and wellness retreats are emerging as high-tier services.
We need to embrace a new mindset, an approach for luxury catering in response to growing demands. Luxury travel is never about the money. It's all about the experience it has to offer.
To capitalize on this trend further, the Prime Minister has directed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Public Security, and the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism to develop favorable visa policies to attract global billionaires, wealthy retirees, and international experts. These measures are expected to extend visitors' stays and increase their spending.
Coming up next, Channel 1 News. U.S. might exempt some nations from reciprocal tariffs. And Canada seeks WTO consultations over China tariffs. President Donald Trump announced on Monday that the U.S. is moving forward with the plans to impose tariffs on imported cars, but exemption may be on the table for certain countries. Speaking at the White House, President Trump emphasized that many nations could be excluded, but did not disclose details. The administration is also expected to roll out additional tariffs on automobiles, lumber, and semiconductor chips in the coming days. Meanwhile, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and top economic advisor Kevin Hassett indicated that the affected countries will be narrowed, targeting nations with large trade surpluses and high trade barriers. A White House official confirmed that the final decision remains under review. A new trade dispute is unfolding as Canada has filed a complaint against China at the World Trade Organization (WTO) over additional tariff on agriculture and seafood products. The WTO has officially received Canada's complaint in which the country requests consultations with China over recently imposed import tariffs. Announced earlier this month, these tariffs target Canadian canola, oilcake, and peas, with surcharges reaching 100%, while seafood and pork face a 25% tariff. This move is widely seen as China's retaliation against Canada's 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles and additional duties on Chinese steels and aluminum products. Under WTO rules, both sides will enter consultations to resolve the dispute. If no agreement is reached, Canada can request a special tribunal of 3 to 5 experts to rule on the case. This April, the Bank of Korea will officially launch a central bank digital currency CBDC pilot, allowing select citizens to experience a government-issued electronic currencies for the first time. This digital currency is a legal, centrally issued form of money, enabling secure payments and online transactions without cash transfer. A test group of 100,000 participants will take part in the pilot from April to June. They can exchange cash for digital tokens linked to their personal bank accounts and use them for purchases at designated stores simply by scanning a QR code through their banking app. During the 3-month trial, participants will have a deposit limit of $680 with a total conversion cap of about $3,400. And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch the program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.